we haven't fought. Imagine that. They gotta lie. They gotta lie. They gotta lie all the time. They can't even believe their own lies. You can't even believe your own lies.
I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy.
Too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it.
During the press conference, Teofimo Lopez delivered a strong message aimed directly at Shakur Stevenson. Lopez made it clear that he plans to make a statement inside the ring and has no concern about being labeled the underdog. He emphasized that overlooking him has always been a mistake and vowed to prove his ability through a commanding performance. According to Lopez, the fight will showcase his power, confidence, and relentless drive, leaving no room for doubt about what he brings to the table.
They know that. They kept that protection program.
Money talk, walk. Money talk.
Teofimo Lopez enters a matchup with Shakur Stevenson calm, confident, and fully locked in. He believes he will control the fight from start to finish, determined to showcase his skill, power, and sharp game plan. Lopez's mindset is unmistakable. He's all in, focused on victory, and intent on leaving no questions about his abilities once the fight is over.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Mentally, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere, having a coquito.
Teofimo Lopez makes it known that he has no intention of letting Shakur Stevenson take the championship he fought to obtain. He speaks about the sacrifices behind his rise, explaining that the belt is more than a title. It's the result of years of hardship, discipline, and sacrifice. For Lopez, this matchup is personal. He sees it as defending everything he has built through persistence and belief in himself. Driven by pride and relentless work, he's determined to prove that what was earned through effort and dedication cannot simply be taken away in the ring.
Of being in the ring,
yes.
Shakur Stevenson, obviously you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this. And I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny and the.
Aoya offered his analysis of the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, predicting a fight that likely stretches the full 12 rounds. He pointed out that the opening half of the bout could be decisive, as Shakur is not expected to start fast. Instead, Stevenson may take a patient approach early, fighting off the back foot, while reading Lopez's rhythm and tendencies. If Lopez can assert himself and clearly take control of the early rounds, it could force Shakur to adjust later in the fight, increasing the intensity and making the second half far more competitive. Aoya described Lopez as a momentum-based fighter who thrives when he starts strong, but raised questions about whether he can maintain that pace over 12 rounds. Should Shakur feel he's fallen behind early, he would likely be pushed to open up down the stretch, setting the stage for high-pressure championship rounds. On the other hand, if Lopez drops the early rounds, Stevenson's discipline and control could allow him to manage the fight comfortably and secure a clear decision. Ultimately, Aoya framed the matchup as a tactical battle, where pacing, energy conservation, and round-by-round adjustments will determine who walks away with the win.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Tio in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Tio can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end because Tio, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Tio comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Tio looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tio is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him.
Shakur Stevenson explains that his motivation comes from an intense competitive mindset and a constant need to challenge himself against the best fighters available. When he watched Teofimo Lopez's recent performances, what stood out was a confidence and flair in Lopez's style, something that reminded him of a young Roy Jones Jr. That comparison sparked Shakur's interest and made him want to test himself against that kind of talent and unpredictability. Stevenson sees this fight as a major measuring stick, a chance to evaluate where he stands against a truly elite opponent while adapting to a different set of tactics and physical threats. Looking back at his fight with William Zepeda, he admits it was awkward, exhausting, and far from comfortable, but ultimately crucial for his development. That bout showed him he could stay composed and effective even when facing non-stop pressure and adversity. He acknowledges that pressure fighters are designed to push him out of his comfort zone, but overcoming that style only strengthened his belief in his abilities. Heading into the Lopez matchup, Stevenson feels prepared for the speed, power, and volatility that come with a high-level opponent. He trusts his experience, ring intelligence, and adaptability to manage the fight smartly, viewing it as a complete test of his skills, mindset, and readiness to perform at the highest level of boxing.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy, like he like doing things hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool, so it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me.
Chris Algieri shared a perspective on why the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup matters beyond just the result. He emphasized that boxing needs more fights where elite fighters are willing to face each other, even if it means taking real risks. According to Algieri, A loss shouldn't erase a fighter status at the top level, and competitors can still be considered great while challenging themselves against the best. He explained that this fight represents that exact mindset. Rather than a reckless slugfest, Algieri expects a high-level contest built on timing, positioning, and ring intelligence. The appeal isn't constant exchanges, but the tension created by elite technique and strategic adjustments, which can be just as gripping for fans. Algieri added that a win for Stevenson would further cement his place among the sport's elite pound-for-pound fighters, potentially locking him into the top tier, where many already believe he belongs. He also described the bout as a modern throwback, reminiscent of eras when the best in the division consistently faced one another. In his view, the build-up, chess match dynamics, and historical significance of fights like this prove that top-level boxing still delivers drama, excitement, and lasting impact.
Health of boxing on this side of the world. Listen, there's nothing like the Garden. We've both fought there many times. I fought in the big room. There's nothing like the Garden. Just the vibe, like you said, champ, that's around that. And this fight is deserving to be here. It's that good of a fight. It's that big a fight, and especially like I'm said, like the health of American boxing. This is one of the best fights that can be made, and putting it in the Garden just makes too much sense.
But the idea of the turmoil, the eyes on it, the spectacle, the circus. Chris, you talked about the idea that Teofimo Lopez kind of lives in this. That's where he flourishes. That's what he loves. This idea that because there's so many eyeballs on it, it's going to be kind of a circus. Does that favor Teofimo a little bit when you look at the strategy? Yes, no?
I'm going to say well, I can't say for certain because there's no certain with Teofimo Lopez. He's one of the most up, down, left, right guys I've ever been around.
Mercurial, we could say. Yes.
But when he is on, he's damn near unbeatable. I mean, he's such a good athlete. He has such a good boxing IQ. He's so physical and explosive. And again, I've said this on past shows. I've called him many times for Top Rank, been around fight weeks. And it just seems to me, the more out of sorts he seems, the more back against the wall it looks like, the more that he's an underdog, the better he performs. And this could be that kind of situation. New York is a tough place, man. They're already gibbering, going back and forth, saying like, he reps Brooklyn, but there's kind of questions about his Brooklyn roots. Can he really rep Brooklyn in the way that he says he can? So he's already getting that heat for that. I don't know. It might be a good thing to poke the bear in terms of how well Teofimo is going to show up.
Paulie, you're from Brooklyn. That's a big insult to say that you're not really from Brooklyn.
Insult him a little bit.
Insult him a little bit. Insult him.
But I'll tell you what. There's so many thoughts in my head with this situation because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights.
Carrington offered his breakdown of Teofimo Lopez's matchup with Shakur Stevenson, pointing to a potential weakness in Lopez's game. While Lopez is explosive, powerful, and naturally athletic, Carrington believes he can struggle against opponents who use constant movement, smart angles, and precise distance control. According to Carrington, Stevenson's calm approach and high ring IQ could expose that flaw by forcing Lopez to chase and overextend. If Stevenson controls the spacing and tempo, he can prevent Lopez from dictating the fight and instead pull him into a slower, more tactical contest. Carrington also noted that Lopez is most dangerous in short, aggressive bursts, but relying too heavily on power can work against him when facing a patient, mobile fighter. Stevenson's defensive awareness and ability to reset after exchanges could wear on Lopez mentally and physically, reducing his effectiveness as the rounds progress in the end. Carrington suggested that Lopez will need sharper footwork, better patience, and smarter positioning to overcome Stevenson's technical edge. The analysis frames the fight as a battle where timing, movement, and ring intelligence may outweigh raw athleticism, highlighting how discipline and strategy could be the deciding factors.
Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosive,ness, but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. So, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? we got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his 2 biggest wins, he was an underdog, and those guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of that approach of the fight, nah. Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit. Only time he's open. So yeah, other than that, bro, it's gonna be a pretty tough night for Teofimo Lopez, but I feel like
Gary Ansher and Russell shared his take on Teofimo Lopez by focusing on a specific version of him rather than his overall reputation. He pointed to Lopez's performance against Vasily Lomachenko as a blueprint, describing it as a version of Lopez that is most dangerous. Russell explained that Lopez is at his best when he blends forward pressure with self-control. Instead of rushing or swinging wildly, he applies steady aggression while staying balanced and aware, which forces opponents into awkward situations without giving them clean counter opportunities. According to Russell, that mix of pace, athleticism, and discipline is what makes Lopez such a difficult matchup. When he sticks to his strategy, times his attacks properly, and stays composed under pressure, Lopez has the ability to take control rounds and keep even top-level fighters reacting rather than leading.
You just think I'm up on that all day. Why? Because you got a strap and you play with me.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, look, like you said, the first thing you said was bluffing McMuffin, right? So you don't think that he's gonna do that. Let's just say that's the case. Let's say he wins this fight, but he doesn't win the fight. Whatever happens.
Right, because you made a statement after you said all that. Said I'm gonna go back down to 35. So which one is it, man? He kind of 6'7" with.
No, there you go.
Come on, which one is it?
So let's talk about 140 then, because obviously there's other champions there. One who you've been going back and forth with recently online, one that you have history with, and you got other guys, Subriel there, somebody else you had history, Richardson Hitchens. What's the route for you going forward after your next fight?
After my next fight, unify. I've always let it be known. I want to be undisputed in my division. I want to unify. Anybody who got a title at the time, that's what I need to see next after my next up-and-coming fight.
Gary, just talk about, obviously your division is hot right now. This fight, your fight coming up, maybe one of the biggest ones in Teofimo versus Shakur. Just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. In order for you to participate in this sport, you gotta have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you will see him fight somebody.
Added that Lopez's power becomes far more dangerous when it's supported by patience and smart decision-making, rather than forcing exchanges. Lopez is most effective when he waits for the right moments, delivering clean, impactful shots while staying defensively responsible. BY referencing the Lomachenko fight. Russell made it clear that Lopez's success isn't just about natural athleticism or physical strength. It's about execution, adaptability, and staying mentally locked in throughout the fight. When Lopez maintains that level of composure and strategic focus, Russell believes he becomes a truly elite threat, capable of controlling high-level opponents and shaping the fight on his terms.
Fight to a degree. That's why everybody was criticizing him for, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. Now, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot of this arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighter show up the night of the fight.
Right.
You know, but if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko.
For today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.